Hello guys, today we're going over the Marvel characters. But this is a very different video. What Pokemon types would every Marvel character be? I may be splitting this video up to 2 sections because of course there are X-Men as well and characters as well. But yep, we'll be ranking we'll do both the X-Men and the MCU characters. The first character is 4. Yep, I'm here just going off this list of the best Marvel superheroes. And 4 is ranked number 1. 4, of course, is electric type because he is the god of thunder. I think that's probably the easiest type. He also wears armor that will make him steel type. And also he wears he also has the Mjolnir and Stormbreaker, which mostly has to do with electricity, but are both made of metal. So, yep, he wields metal weapons, he has metal armor, he is basically steel electric type. Spider-Man, well, bug fighting. Fighting because Spider-Man is very good at fighting. A lot of superheroes are very good. And Bug because his suit grants him bug-like powers, including the ability to shoot webs, which is a bug type attacks. And yeah, he basically gets bug-like powers when he has a spider suit on. And also he has superpowers as well. And yeah, Spider-Man obviously is gonna be bug type because he is Spider-Man. Obviously, Deadpool is pretty hard to type. What type would he be? Dark type because he's an anti-hero. He isn't really good, but he isn't really bad. Steel type because he has two katanas, or fairy type because he's just weird. It's just what type would Deadpool be? He has regeneration, which is basically a normal type, but Deadpool isn't a normal person. The most likely type would likely be Dark type because if you watch the Deadpool movies, he isn't really a good guy. He goes out for revenge very quickly and easily. Even though the other guy did take away his wife. And he became Deadpool because, and yeah, it really took until the second movie where he didn't really realize that he didn't have to be the way he is and actually accept others' help. Deadpool would probably be he would be dark type, but he isn't necessarily evil. He basically is an anti-hero. And steel type because he has guns, he has swords, and he's Deadpool. He can basically, or he could be fairy type because he does have an infatuation of unicorns as well. But yeah, dark type would probably be the most suitable type for Deadpool out of every Pokemon type out there. Iron Man, Steel Electric, or Steel Fire. Basically, one of those three types. Iron Man, he's Iron Man. He basically wears a metal suit and he shoots blasts out of his hands. So either of those two typings would work. Hulk would be fighting type. Hulk plus dark type. Well, it's because Hulk, especially in the earliest, Professor Hulk would probably be fighting, psychic, or because Blair is basically the brand bond, but the feral Hulk that we all know, Hulk is uncontrollable. He can't really control himself. It really took it to like the actual first Avengers movie for him to really control his anger. And anger equals darkness. And yep, Hulk only becomes Hulk because he's angry. And fighting type works well because basically Hulk smash. Smashing is fighting. Wolverine, of course, he's steel type. Simple as that. He's basically made of adamantium, which is a type of metal. Fictional metal, at least, but he's steel type. Don't really see any other typing Wolverine will get other than steel type. Doctor Strange, psychic type. Probably one of the easiest typings out there because Doctor Strange, he's a wizard. He uses psychic powers. He is probably one of the easiest Marvel characters to type. I don't think he'll probably get any other types because he's basically the master of psychic and wizardry. So yeah, Captain America, he is steel fighting type. Captain America is steel type because he has a heart of steel, just like the sword of justice. And also he has a metal shield carries around. And also he's very good at fighting, hand to hand combat, so of course he's fighting type. Next is Groot, Grass Fairy. Well, Groot is a very kind individual in Guardians of the Galaxy. willing to, yeah. I think he would be perfect as both of those types, or just pure grass because Groot is a plant. Black Panther would obviously be steel type, like Iron Man. But I think he'll be pure steel type. Of course, out of the suit, he'll be normal type because he's just a normal person. Just like Iron Man would be just a normal person, leaving him the normal type. Black Panther, he basically wears a suit of steel. So, with of, you know, he wears a suit of vibranium, which is basically a metal, making him a steel type. It's just that info. Ant-Man, steel bug, because Ant-Man, the name, the joke, the pun. The real reason is he called Ant-Man because he can turn tiny, but yeah, for the pun, maybe his suit turns him into a bug type, bug steel type, and of course he's a normal person without the suit, but yep, bug steel type. Scarlet Witch, well, psychic type. And if you really want to go into comics a bit, probably probably psychic type. Rocket Raccoon, well, Rocket Raccoon's another hard one. He'd basically, he would be dark type because raccoons are considered to be evil and bad. But okay, that's the World of War reasons. He's still and at the beginning he was considered a criminal, and also he also was a genetic experiment with basically he would also be electric type because of all the electric gadgets he carries around. Black Widow, of course, dark type because of her name. Well, she isn't really necessarily evil later on, but she was programmed to be a dark type in the Black Widow program. Basically, she is a dark fighting type because she also fights really great. Yeah, she is basically programmed to be that type. Punisher will just be dark type because he just wants to punish people that he wants to avenge. Ghost Rider, well, simply Ghost Fire. That's probably one of the easiest typings in the history of Marvel characters. There is no two more fitting typings than Ghost Fire for Ghost Rider. Silver Surfer is a pretty strange one, but Psychic would work because it's a game figure. If Silver Surfer was a Pokemon, he would be a Psychic type because game figure loves to give space stuff from space. Psychic types. I think these are all the heroes. We'll do a separate list for the villains. But yep, Silver Surfer would be psychic type and steel type because he's basically made of like metal and stuff. So that would be the E. There's a lot of steel types. Star Lord, well, he's Star Lord, so he's just a normal person basically in armor. No, it has guns, but he's essentially almost a normal person. So normal type. Dark Phoenix, fire type, fire psychic type, easy character to do. Vision, steel psychic type. Well, he has an Infinity Stone in his head that grants him the Mind Stone. Literally is psychic, and he's basically made of, the metal. He's made of like metal, so he's steel. Psychic. Hawkeye, he just has a bow and arrow. Basically, all he does is shoot people with bows and arrows. And yeah, there's really not really just gonna probably be normal fighting or something like that. Gambit, I don't really know much about Gambit. He beats people. He'll be probably psychic because he has like psychic powers and stuff. Some of these characters, yeah, the X-Men characters don't really. Nightcrawler, the X-Men characters. I haven't really watched much of the X-Men. Nightcrawler, he can like turn his body at will to a different beast form, which again, beast form would be fighting type because it becomes more animalistic and more of a beast. Giving him he's also pretty good at fighting, so most superheroes will likely be just fighting type. But yeah, Miss Marvel. Okay, Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel, or okay, if we're gonna go by, okay, this is Captain Marvel. I don't know why they list that Miss Marvel. Miss Marvel is the other girl with the super long arms. Pretty lame superpower. But if you watch he would probably be fire type. Or electric type because he can kind of the reason why we gave Goku the fire the fighting electric or fighting fire type because Goku can channel his inner energy into Ki Blast and stuff. Captain Marvel can literally do exactly the same thing. So fighting electric or fire, basically similar to how Iron Man can have the electric or fire type. Basically, whatever type Game Freak would probably pick. Next is Bucky Barnes, Winter Soldier. Steel type. He has a steel arm. He is practically a cyborg. And Dark type because, of course, he was brainwashed to be evil. So, Professor X, Psychic type. Cable, Steel type because he's basically... He's Cable. Simple as that. Spider-Man, we already have Spider-Man, you know. Miles Morales would basically be the same type of Spider-Man. All Spider-Mans would be the same type except for Venom. Okay, now we have Captain Marvel. But Miss Marvel, so... Yeah, this is just confusing. Okay. Yeah, Captain Marvel would be the same type as Miss Marvel. Which now it's Captain Marvel, which now Miss Marvel is now a different character. Okay, well, if we want to talk about the new Miss Marvel, what type would she be? Probably just fighting type because he can extend her fists. Colossus, Steel type. Nova, well, he is from space. He would be Psychic type because he's from space. You know, they love to give people from space Psychic type because that's like the best thing, and Fire because of the name. Odin, of course, the same type as basically Thor. He would exactly have the same type as Thor because he was basically Thor's father, so he would be the same type. Gamora, what type would Gamora be? Not grass type. Okay, we're not gonna make that meme. Well, oh, Gamora's grass type because he's green, but he is a good fighter, so she'll be fighting type at least. Blade, well, Blade would be dark type at least because Blade works in the shadows and stuff. He also kills He's also like kills vampires and stuff, and vampires are dark. So he's kind of like, that as well. So, you know, Blade, vampires. Yeah, he would probably be dark type. Drax the Destroyer, well, he's the Destroyer. He's probably he would be fighting type or dark type. Probably one of the two. Human Torch, easy. We all know his type, fire type. War Machine will be the same type as Iron Man. Ghost Rider again, Thing, rock type. Rock fighting because he's basically a rock type version of the Hulk. Human Torch is listed again. Nick Fury, well, he is essentially just a agent. He's just basically a normal human if you watch any of the Marvel movies. Next is Daredevil. Well, Daredevil would basically receive the same type as Batman spoilers for the DC video that will make in the future. Well, dark fighting because both Daredevil and Batman are very similar characters. He is very good at fighting, and Daredevil, yep, he works in the shadows just like Batman. Of course, we all know he isn't evil, but he works in the shadows. Basically, that's what he does. So, that gives him that exact typing. Valkyrie, probably fairy type, because, really, the name. Moon Knight, dark type, obviously. I don't really know much about Moon Knight, but Moon Knight is another character, Moon, darkness, obviously, works out. Beast, well... Beast is another animalistic character. He'll be fighting type. Iceman, of course, ice type. Quicksilver would be electric type. How could anyone see that coming? Wasp would be bug flying because her suit is, and her name is basically Wasp. So, and her suit grants her bug-like properties like Ant-Man, and she can fly. So that means she would be that exact type. X-23 would be the same type as Wolverine, basically. Psylocke, psychic typing. Yeah, we're going to the X-Men characters. Storm, electric type. Rogue, I don't really know much about Rogue because I don't really watch the X-Men movies. I haven't really watched most of the X-Men movies. I only watched like the last 4 or 5. Luke Cage, he was just a normal fighting type. Sam Wilson, Falcon, steel flying. He flies around and he has armor as well. Iron Fist, fighting type. Yep, a lot of these superheroes would really just be fighting types. That's really what it boils down to. Most of these superheroes, Cyclops would be fire type because he can shoot beams out of his eyes. Adam Warlock. Oh, yes, he would be psychic type because we all know we love to give. And yeah, all the Celestials would probably be psychic type at the very least. Archangel. I wonder what type he would be. Literally, fairy type because very fighting or very flying because he's literally called Archangel and he flies. Heimdall would probably be steel because he has the heart of steel. Ant-Man, he's still Ant-Man. Yondu, well, The Andus are pretty tricky. Well, he would probably, considering that he is a part of the Ravagers, and the Ravagers are considered like, bandits, he would be Dark type because Ravagers equals bandit. Seahawk would really be the same exact type as Hulk. Literally. Spider-Man, same exact type as Spider-Man. And Invisible Woman. Well, that's a pretty difficult type. What type could Invisible Woman be? Probably Psychic type because he can turn invisible. And really, or just normal type because he's still a normal person. Only the things he can do is turn invisible. Mr. Fantastic would be the same type as, Miss Marvel, the new Miss Marvel, because they literally do exactly the same thing. They can stretch their bodies as at their limbs. Black Panther basically is still Black Panther, same type. Black Bolt, Thunder type, Electric type, and probably normal type because Black Bolt can sound as well. Spider-Man, Ronin. Well, I haven't. Okay, yeah, these are the more obscure characters now going here. Yep. Some of these characters, are more obscure as well. So we'll be done with the Marvel character Pokemon types. Red Hawk would probably be firefighting. Yep, we all love that type. But yep, these are kind of like the more obscure characters out of the Marvel series. So yeah, Miss Marvel again. Miss Marvel shows up again. Captain Marvel, Mantis. Mantis would be Bug type. Bug Psychic because he can read people's mind. Okay, we'll go to the more important characters I know from the MCU. The less obscure characters. Korg, well, he's made of rocks. He's rock type. Angel, literally an angel, fairy type. Jessica Jones, she basically just fighting type. Nebula, he is practically a robot at this point, so steel type, steel fighting. Electra, I haven't really seen a movie, but she fights with swords, so she fights with blades, so steel type, steel fighting. Domino, well, she basically just has, she's from the Deadpool movie, and she basically just fights hand to hand, so that's an easy type. Yeah, some of these characters basically have the same type as many others. Most of these Celestials would be Psychic type. Sentry would basically be the same type as Superman, because I think Sentry is like the Marvel version of Superman that they had to make. Squirrel, well, she's a furry character, and she'll be normal type, basically, because that's basically it about Squirrel. Howard the Duck. Oh, this is a weird one. Howard the Duck would, of course, be flying type because he's a duck, and since Game Freak Gloves gave all the other duck type Pokemon and duck characters water type. Water type. Okori, well, she is basically as a hard-wheeled player. So yeah, most of these characters just be fighting type. Captain Britain, well, he'll be basically the same type as Captain. He'll basically be fighting type. And yep, I think we have done all the major Marvel characters here, because yeah, these are like the more obscure ones, and most of these will just be fighting type characters anyway, so psychic types. Or more obscure characters that no one really cares about or remembers. And yeah, we could give Venom. Oh yeah, we'll go quickly to Venom as well, or we can just do it differently in the greatest Marvel enemies, whereas Venom will likely appear in that one. So yeah, Venom will be saved for that one. But yep, that's basically it. Goodbye.